Hey everyone, this is In My Mailbox, which is a meme started by the Story Siren. If you haven't seen her videos or her blog, you should go check it out. It's mostly young adult, but I like kind of having a day to do this, to try to motivate myself to stay on track. So some of these are things I've already read, some of them are things that are upcoming. I've been doing these maybe twice a month, I guess, instead of every Sunday. So the first one is Pretty Bad Things by C.J. Scoose. I actually finished this. This was pretty good. It wasn't, I don't know, I don't like it as much as some of the things I've been reading, but it was a fun read. It's basically these twins, Paisley and Beau, who their mom has died and they're being raised by their skank mother, which is supposedly their grandmother, and Paisley's off at boarding school, and chapter by chapter you hear the story from Beau, then you hear it from Paisley, then you hear it from Beau, then you hear it from Paisley, but they basically go on kind of like a little debaucherous road trip to try to find their dad in Vegas. So it was okay. The writing is very fun and very witty. It's just it wasn't very relatable, I guess, for me. But that was fun read, quick read. Next book. This was a very interesting read. This is The Bunny Tales by Isabella St. James. And this is all about what goes on at the Playboy Mansion. A lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting to read. Basically, like, she's a very intelligent girl, and she has a lot of interesting takes, and you get to know her history. She knows like 4 languages. She went and got her master's. She was going to law school. But there's some pretty graphic stuff in here that like you kind of almost didn't want to know, but you kind of want to know. So it was definitely interesting, and I don't know, I felt like she was, like, on one hand she was saying like how grateful she was for the experience of being there, and then on the other hand she was saying a lot of negative things, and it almost felt like the positive things were insincere and she was just trying to throw out something, you know, to make up for all the crappy things she was saying about having the mansion. But there's a picture of them. So that's her in half. And so she was there, I guess, in the early 2000s, I think. 2001, 2002, around there, somewhere in there. But she was there right when Holly was there, and then she left right when I think Bridget and Kendra started staying there, and that's how he got down to the 3 girlfriends that started the TV show. So anyway, yes, very interesting. Another book that I read, which I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting for, and I gave it to my dad before it's due, but it's called The Long Goodbye by Megan O'Rourke. And it's a memoir about her story of her mother getting cancer and her death and all the things that you go through when somebody close to you dies. And it felt like I was reading my own words, like just all the different things that grief does to you. It was excellent, and I spent a lot of time crying reading it, but it was a really cathartic read. So it's not something I guess I'd recommend to everybody, but if you know someone who's sick or if you've lost somebody, I think it's an interesting, kind of makes you feel connected to somebody in the common thread that you have with people who've also lost someone. So can't recommend that enough. It's called The Long Goodbye by Megan O'Rourke. I'm probably going to buy it and keep it in my collection just from time to time, pick it up and read it, but it made me feel like I wasn't alone in what I've been going through. And I know I'm not, but just reading someone else's words that are so exact to the things that I've thought and felt was therapeutic. Next one, this is what I just finished last night, and this is Bad Taste in Boys. This is by Carrie Harris. And this was just a fun read. It's not very long. I think I read it in 2 nights, very quick. And basically there's this girl, Kate Grable, and she's kind of a nerdy, like, wants to go into medical school, high school student. And she is kind of the attending person to the football team where anybody gets hurt and she checks them out and helps the coach out. And basically something happens and there is a zombie epidemic at her school, and I guess in the surrounding area. So it kind of was anticlimactic in how everything wrapped up. It wasn't like a movie like 28 Days or something like that, or Resident Evil, where you got like this crazy story. Like, it was a very simplistic ending and like tied everything up very neatly in a very short little novel. So It's still a fun read. It was very entertaining, kind of like Pretty Bad Things along that same lines, where it wasn't really relatable, but it was just fun to read. This is the one I started last night. I just got through the first chapter, and this is called Starstruck. by Cyn Balog, Cynbalog is her name. And this seems like it's going to be kind of interesting. It's kind of like, I read The Goddess Test and Star-Crossed. And so this has some of those themes in it, I guess. The main character is kind of a chubby girl, and I guess one of her friends moves away, Philip Wishman, aka Wish, and they decide to start an online romance. So they're like 13 at the time, I guess, and they've been long distance boyfriend girlfriend. And I guess he's going to be moving back to New Jersey, and this is 3 years later. And she says that she's like 234 pounds now. She's gained 70 pounds, and he seems like he's like this blonde god. And so although he ends up being obsessed with the sun and freaked out by rain. So basically, it sounds like there must be something supernatural about him or something like that, or something to do with, you know, starstruck, something that's going to be kind of paranormal, I guess. But it sounds like a fun one, and the writing's kind of fun, so same vein as the rest of the young adult ones I've been reading. And then the last one I got, which I've been waiting for this for a few months at the library, this is The Tiger's Wife by Tia Obret. And this one, it's been on the wait list for a long time. This is about a family legend, loss, and love. In a Balkan country mending from years of conflict, Natalia, a young doctor, arrives on a mission of mercy at the orphanage by the sea. By the time she and her lifelong friend begin to inoculate the children, she feels age-old superstitions and secrets gathering everywhere around her. Secrets her outwardly cheerful hosts have chosen not to tell her. Secrets involving the strange family digging for something in the surrounding vineyards. Secrets hidden in the landscape itself. So it sounds like there's some mystery to it, and some historical kind of, you know, delving back into the past. Oh, wow. She's very young. The author was born in 1985 in Belgrade, the former Yugoslavia. She's a very young author. Very cute. Wasn't expecting that. But this book has been like crazy popular, so I think that will be interesting to read. So that one's the last one I'll be reading. And then I'm trying to see if I can get into an online like book club mentality. One of the websites I check, Crazy Aunt Pearl, she is doing The Stand, so I think you're supposed to have read it by like the middle of the month. I don't know how far I'll get. I've tried reading The Stand by Stephen King before and I didn't get very far, but that was in high school, so I'm willing to give it a shot again. But it's huge. If you've ever seen it, I think it's like 1,000 pages or something. So and my husband is reading the Dance with Dragons book that just came out by George R.R. Martin, so he's all excited about that. It's nice to see him reading again. But yeah, I've been reading little books lately, so to go to something that's a ginormous commitment is going to be a little tough. I've been wanting to read the George R.R. Martin books too, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So what are you guys reading? Let me know, and I'm going to run off and do a superficial kind of haul video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.